There's a lot of destructive things that we learn growing up about money, and this is a primary reason why we continue to be in poverty as a community. I want to touch on the 3 biggest mindset killers that's keeping a lot of us at the bottom today. When we grew up in the hood, we had family members, we had friends, we had aunties, uncles, dudes up and down the block that said a lot of things to us at an early age, and we've carried those things in our adult way of living. Let me tell you about one of them. Number 1, destructive money killer, mindset killer. All money is evil. You ever heard that? All money is evil. Money is the root of all evil. Well, it's not money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money is the root of all evil. It's the mindset that you have towards money that makes all the difference. You know, a lot of times we hear these sayings growing up, and people take things out of context to the point where we justify why we're in a bad condition so that way we can feel more comfortable about our situation. So let's say that you took on a mindset that, you know, all money is evil, right? If you really are believing that, then at every turn, whenever there's an opportunity for you to do better in your life, you will walk away from it. You will sabotage from it. Because of the fact that you are working against yourself, you will block literally every blessing that comes your way. I remember there was a time, I want to say it was a few years ago, I was supposed to be headed to Beverly Hills to go and sit down in a business discussion with a handful of entrepreneurs. All of these guys were making money. Everybody in the room was going to be 6-figure earners, 7-figure earners, multi-millionaires. And I was so afraid to step out of my house and be among people that were more successful than me. So here it is. I got my plane ticket booked. I've got all of my arrangements made. I've got my hotel down. Part of me is excited. The other part of me is really worried. And you know what I did on the day that I had to catch my flight? I purposely sabotaged myself from being able to get to where I needed to get on time. I purposely got to the airport at a time where I knew I could not get on the flight. And it was all because of the fact that I was scared. See, I could have came up with all of these excuses. Oh, well, you know, the way my schedule was for the day, I had so much to do. See, what had happened was this person had called me and they said this and they said that. All of that's BS. All of that was a bunch of crap. The true reality is I was looking for things to throw off my day and get distracted by because I was afraid to take myself to the next level financially. I had a fear of success. And a lot of us share that in the black community. A lot of us, we have a fear of being more successful than we are today. A lot of us, we glorified growing up in the hood. So having that hood-like struggling started from the bottom mentality is a prison that we can never escape from. We can never get out of. Of course, you've heard crabs in a barrel. Here it is that you're trying to make it now. You're trying to take things to the next level. But everybody in your environment has a negative way of trying to bring you down. And so the first destructive mindset thing that you've really got to work your way out of is this concept that all money is evil. If you're looking that all money is evil from a spiritual context, let's say the Bible, right? Well, when you read the Bible tells you that money is a defense. It tells you that money answers all things. When it's telling you that money, the love of money, is the root of all evil, it's just telling you to not make money your God. Not to prioritize all of your money-making schemes and ventures over serving God. Now, here's a question. Is it possible that you can serve God and do the things that you need to do for your family, for your community, for your church, for your friends, while making a living for yourself? Absolutely. Absolutely, you could do that. And you read about many people over the years that did the same thing. You've got to separate yourself from the mental cancer that every time I make a dollar or try to better myself, there's some evil behind it. If you're doing something with a pure heart and the right intentions, then guess what? By you giving value to the world, you're going to be compensated for that. You know, there's so many of us that just have such a negative mentality towards it, but we spend our entire lives consuming the same things that we are against. So let's say you want to think about starting your own business, right? And you have a fear of success. You say, oh, well, what happens if I start a business and I start making all of this money and, you know, just me having this love of this money, the spirit that I have is just going to make me just so, you know, evil by nature. But yet we'll be the first ones going to the Apple store, giving our last dollar to make somebody else rich. We'll be the same people that'll step back and say, oh, well, you know what? Money is not that important. I don't really need it. I don't really care. But we'll be the same person that'll take a dollar and blow it on Jordans, on handbags, on cars that we're not even going to be using 3 years from now, all because of the fact that we don't really have the proper mindset when it comes to money. Money is a tool. Money is not a God. Money gives you options. Is money going to solve every problem that you have in your life? No. But in many ways, life can be better or easier, rather. Life can be easier if you have the financial resources to get you or your family members out of a bad situation. So if you're married and you have a family of 4 and you work night and day, you've never taken your wife out to dinner. You've never taken your kids to the movies. You've never even gone on one vacation because it seems impossible for you to escape your job. If you had the money to be able to do so, you would be able to improve the quality of living for you and your family. And on some level, there's an evil in not doing that. Because when you read in a spiritual context, it tells you that if you don't provide for your household, you're worse than an infidel. So a lot of us have to first get rid of this mindset that all money is evil, okay? If you decide to make money evil, then money can be evil. But money in and of itself as an entity is not evil, okay? Money is a tool. Number 2, a lot of us carry a mindset that, you know, things are so expensive. You remember how many times that you might have been somewhere, maybe it was at a store, that you wanted to buy something and you looked at the price tag and you was like, damn, it's expensive. I want it, but it's expensive. You've been at a restaurant, right? And you wanted to be able to order something off the menu, or maybe you were trying to take somebody out and, you know, you were trying to stunt, show off, have a good time, treat somebody to the finer things in life, and you opened up the menu and everything on that menu was just a little bit higher than what you was expecting. Your eyeballs are popping out now that you're seeing how much water costs on the menu. So immediately you start getting this mentality that, man, this is so expensive. And even though in your reality, yes, it may be expensive, that's one of the most dangerous statements that you can put in your brain. Because the minute that you start to make that statement that something is too expensive, immediately you subconsciously start to discount yourself and disconnect yourself away from being able to have better things of value or higher quality things of value, okay? So let's say that right now you only make $30,000. But in order to take your family on a vacation, you might need to be making $70,000. If you tell your family members or your friends, yeah, I can't do that because it's too expensive, guess what? You're not going where you want to go with your family because it costs too much. You're not going where you want to go because you have talked yourself out of getting to the level where you could afford to go on those trips. You've already put yourself in a mental box that says, if anything costs this, and this much, it's never for me, because I grew up in poverty. I grew up in the hood. My mother was on welfare. We grew up off of food stamps. I'm used to living off of EBT. Whatever your mental shackle is, you're never going to escape out of it, because you're going to be saying things to yourself in your mind that's going to keep you in that box. See, you're going to live and die off of the things that you put in your own brain. As a man thinketh, so is he. So if you say that something is too expensive, you're always going to be subconsciously training yourself to believe that it's always going to be outside of your means. It's always going to be outside of maybe what you deserve. Instead, what you should be asking yourself is, how can I afford this? How can I be the right person that can step into this restaurant, this room, this vacation, whatever it is that I'm trying to get out of life, and have a certain type of track record where maybe this won't be that big of a deal at all? That's how you have to reframe your mind. So if I want to go on a vacation somewhere, I'm not going to look and say, oh, I can't go on a vacation, it costs too much. I'm going to ask myself, how can I go on a vacation? How, if this vacation costs this much, how can I step up my game so I could be the right person to get on that level? That's how you level up on life. But if you just credit yourself from every situation, you're never going to get where you want to get. Third and final point. You know how people say time is money? On some level, when people say that, especially in our community, they get the wrong idea. Because having that mindset will always put you in a mental box where you're trading time for money. So here's the proper way to think about time is money, right? When you say that time is money, really time is more valuable than money, because money you can always get back, but time you can never get back. And the time that you take to do anything has some level of value behind it, right? So if I'm doing this video right now, and let's say that we're going on 13 minutes in this video, how much is 13 minutes worth to me, right? There's a certain value behind my time. The reason why I'm saying this is because too many people trick off their time. They don't value their time at all, even though all of our lives on this planet is very short. So when it comes to the statement of time is money, it is important when you need to think about the scarcity of time, because our lives are short. But the way that most of us in our communities think about time as money is, I always have to be working and spending my time working in exchange for money. We tend to trade off our time for money. That's the reason why oftentimes we work jobs where the only time that we get paid is if we're punching in somewhere and making a paycheck that comes off the time that we were working. If we feel like we're doing a business setup that deviates from that, oh, it must be a scam. We've been programmed to believe so much that the only way that we can ever make a dollar is if we're literally working at that time, that we stop ourselves from getting in any other better opportunity where we could be making money as we sleep. We could be making money as we travel. We could be creating a passive stream of income. I want you to step away from intertwining time and money as one in the same, because they're not. I have made money in the past where I might not have been working at that time. I was probably, at a lunch with some friends. I might have been asleep, and then, at the top of the morning, I was waking up. And then I've checked my phone, and I've seen that someone may have signed on as a new client to work with me. And it wasn't because I was working right at that time that they chose to sign up. Thanks to the internet, they could do that whenever they wanted, independent of my own time. Even when I'm doing this video, recording this video. I'm shooting this video right now at a certain time, right? This is a Sunday, early evening. You might watch this any other day of the week. But I don't have to personally be there when you watch the video. I don't have to trade my direct time for your viewership. I can create something one time, and it can be in the world as long as the Lord allows this video to be up. And I want you to start adopting the same mindset, because people that are successful, really successful, they understand that if you're trying to build wealth, you cannot always trade your time for your money, because the amount of time that you have in a day is fixed. If you only have 24 hours in a day, and you damn sure don't want to be working all 24 hours, then that means that there's only so much money that you could make if all you're mentally going off of is an hourly wage. You think Warren Buffett associates an hourly wage with his, net worth? You think Bill Gates ties an hourly wage to his financial worth? No. They've understood how to create businesses and systems that allows them to be able to build extreme levels of wealth that's completely separate from whatever it is that they're doing after they've built what they've built. And if you want to be successful on a world-class level, you got to do the same. Stop always thinking like a worker and start thinking like an owner. Workers think about, I've got to clock in at this time. I've got to clock in at that time. When I clock in, I start making money. When I clock out, I stop making money. Owners who built the company, they're putting the workers to work to make money for them. And it doesn't matter where the owner is at the time. Okay? So I really want y'all to think over these 3 key points that have been very destructive mindset triggers in what we've learned in our communities. Number 1, that all money is inherently evil, regardless of whatever value we're bringing in the world, regardless of how it's improving our family, regardless of what type of opportunities we're creating for other people in a righteous way by utilizing the tool of money. Okay? I want you to stop looking at things and saying, this is too expensive. This is too much. If it's something that you desire to have and is going to be beneficial to you, instead of saying something is too much, ask yourself, how do I become the right type of person to get it? What do I do now to get it? It's not too much, okay? When you say it's too much, immediately you discount yourself out. You sell yourself short. You take yourself out of the race. 3rd and last point. I want you to start thinking about creating streams of income that's independent of your time, because that's what every wealthy person has figured out how to do. Whether you're talking about real estate, whether you're talking about business, whether you're talking about investments, every successful person has devised a way to be able to create some type of income stream for themselves that allows them to be able to make income and keep a roof over their heads, even though they may not be working at that very moment as the money is coming in. Okay? So I want you to, first and foremost, click the link below, because you need to download this Empire Builder. I want to show you how to be able to build your empire from scratch. So even if you're working at a 9-to-5 job and you're thinking about, man, I want to start making some money where I don't always have to be punching a clock for money to get made, click the link below. I'm not promising you you're going to be a millionaire. I'm not promising you're going to be a billionaire. But what I am telling you is that if you don't know how to be able to do this, it's never going to happen. If you don't know how to create another stream of income, it's not going to happen by magic. Nobody's going to knock on your door and tell you this. So click the link below to figure out how to be able to do better for yourself, your family, your friends, your people. All right? I love you. I pray that you are clicking that link below to be able to help yourself. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel, and I see you on the next video. Take care.